Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we head over to Onslow County where their 9/11 remembrance has happened. Students, residents, first responders, Marines, and community members were at the Patriot Day observance at Lejeune Memorial Gardens. Marine veterans, Jacksonville firefighters, and others were seen standing side by side, saluting near the park's 9/11 memorial beam as they honor the fallen by calling out their names and holding up their photos. The beam on display at the park was the first one out of New York City and the only one delivered to a Marine base on the back of an NYC fire engine, according to Onslow County Tourism's website. Again, this was to remember the thousands of lives lost 24 years ago on the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Now, staying in Onslow County, we also want to highlight some good news from really came out of Washington, D.C., but again directly impacts Camp Lejeune. Eastern North Carolina Congressman Republican Greg Murphy and Democrat Don Davis are applauding the passage of the National Defense Authorization Act and what it will mean for Eastern Carolina. Now, Greg Murphy says the legislation provides $90 million for an operations facility at Camp Lejeune, $200 million for the F-35 Aircraft Sustainment Center at FRC East, ensuring our Marine F-35s will be maintained for the next 50 years. It also authorizes the awarding of the Medal of Honor to Major James Capers Jr., U.S. Marine Corps retired by the President of the United States. This is for numerous acts of valor while serving as a member of the U.S. Marine Corps during the Vietnam War. Now, Don Davis says the act prevents F-15E divestment without a one-for-one jet or unit replacement and incentivizes the transfer of F-15Es with the newer 229 engines to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. It also requires a report on the optimal allocation of maintenance dollars for the fighter fleet, including the F-15Es at Seymour Johnson, including the best radio and prioritization between spare parts and pilot training. Now, passage of the NDAA also enacts a 3.8% pay raise for all service members and expands military bonuses and special pay. And now we want to turn our attention to your weather forecast today. Pretty much a rinse and repeat from yesterday. The one true difference is we're actually seeing a little bit more measurable rain right now coming out of the clouds over eastern North Carolina. Let's take a look at what we've got outside right now. Again, not everyone is seeing rain, just a few areas are, but those that are, yeah, they're certainly seeing some drops come down. Talking about you, Bertie and Martin counties. That's where we're seeing, again, the majority of the rainfall currently across eastern North Carolina. Yeah, those of you in Craven County, just north of New Bern, maybe raising your hand saying, I got some rain out my door, Charlie. Well, you're 100% right. And throughout the day, light showers are going to be possible throughout the area. But right now, again, it's just looking a little bit sparse. More sparse than, of course, our cloud cover is looking right now. That's going to be the case throughout the day. It's just going to be one of those cloudy, gloomy days, but not to worry. We've got plenty of sunshine coming up for tomorrow. Right now, 70 degrees in Washington, northerly breeze at 8 miles an hour. It will eventually drop that humidity level, but dew points still holding in the mid-60s in Washington along the Pamlico River. Elsewhere in eastern North Carolina, those dew points are a little bit higher. Right now in Greenville, we've got a 70-degree dew point, which also matches your air temperature and your feels-like temperature. North-northeasterly winds at 10 miles an hour. Certainly helping that humidity a touch, but it's going to be, again, one of those processes that today, being a transition day, we will gradually start to see through the afternoon that humidity level slowly fall. Right now, air temperatures in the upper 60s to mid 60s for those of you watching closer to I-95 of the Virginia line. But most of eastern North Carolina right now looks like we're at about 70 to 73 degrees. For those of you watching across Williamson, Greenville, Kinston, Kenansville, Jacksonville, New Bern, Washington, Plymouth, Edenton, Swan Quarter, Oriental, Stumpy Point, and Manteo. Again, all falling within that range. Now, humidity, again, between around 66 to about 70 degrees is where we find ourselves. This is pretty much on par with where we were yesterday. But as we make our way through the next few days, watch that big kind of splotch of dark green over the Carolinas, even extending up across more eastern Virginia. Watch as that slowly just fades away. This is a sign again of falling humidity that is going to make your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday feel like, again, fall is already here. We haven't truly had that kind of fake fall feel. It's one of those where we kind of just, I feel like all eastern North Carolinians are anticipating just that quick return of summer, and it'll just, everybody's like, okay, told you so. It was going to come back at some point. So far, we haven't seen that type of pattern show up on any of our model forecasts. So right now, again, we're kind of just sticking with this average to slightly below average temperature trend, which of course makes it feel like maybe that what we had billed as a false fall may truly be the beginning of fall. Don't want to call it too early, but again, something I've just kind of been pondering in the back of my mind. Just wanted to share that and get that out there. That way the internet remembers. Anyways, let's talk about what to expect coming up this afternoon. Upper 70s later on today, 77, 78, 79 degrees. We'll fall generally within that range. Winds out of the northeast at about 6 to 12 miles an hour. Maybe a little bit stronger in the afternoon than what we're seeing so far during the AM hours today, but you're not going to see too much of a difference. 75 degrees by 7 turns to 73 at 8, and then we're dropping out of the 70s once we get to around midnight tonight, and that's when we really start to see those temperatures fall a little bit faster. You'll note we really only lose about 3 degrees over a 4-hour period between 8 to 11 p.m. We will lose more heat coming up from midnight to around 4 a.m., dropping air temperatures by about 5 to 6 degrees. That will help put us into generally the low 60s as we wake up early tomorrow morning. That is going to feel quite nice. Now we're back in the low 70s by the time we reach 10 a.m., but big thing you'll note is the lack of cloud cover. Well, we will still see maybe a few clouds out there. It's not going to be completely blue, but mostly blue. We'll call it 80% blue skies, and that is going to be quite a bit different than what we're seeing today, where it's looking like 100% of the skies is nice and gray. So something to look forward to if you're a big fan of the sunshine. Those of you who enjoy a little bit more of the gloom, get out there and soak up the cloud cover today. Now that area of high pressure is really going to impact us as we head into your Friday. It'll help shove that area of low pressure further out into the Atlantic, kind of weakening it, and it will kind of just fall apart off of our coast. And that's when the high pressure system really starts to take hold, giving us again sunny skies all the way through your Friday, Saturday, and potentially even Sunday. We may have some coastal clouds present on Sunday, but nothing again of too much concern. We do have one system that, technically it's in the Atlantic Basin, but right now the actual area of concern that the National Hurricane Center is focused on is actually over Africa right now. In fact, they haven't even put it up on the map. Usually there's an X that comes with those National Hurricane Center blobs, but again, this is an area of low pressure that is still so far over Africa that the Hurricane Center has yet to actually put it on the map. So over the next really 4 days, not anticipating any sort of movement here with that system. But over the next 7 days, that area of concern is expected to be somewhere within that yellow bubble you're seeing in the middle of the Atlantic. Over that time period, over the next 7 days, has a low chance of tropical development. And it's certainly one, because it's really the only system out there, at least potentially out there, that's the only system we're keeping an eye on, so it's the only one we're really talking about. But do you need to worry about it? Not at this point. Even if it does form over the next 7 days, it would still be, I would say, at least 10 days away from getting anywhere near impacting eastern North Carolina. So again, keep that in the back of your mind. Always good to, again, be prepared. Don't want to push anybody off of the idea that you don't need to be prepared for a hurricane because it hasn't formed yet. Always be prepared, but it's certainly not one you need to lose any sleep over. 78 degrees for today, turns to 82 by tomorrow. We'll hold in the low 80s over the weekend. Overnight lows coming down into the low 60s tonight and tomorrow night, possibly even the upper 50s by Saturday night. And then through next week, we'll see again a slim chance of some coastal rain showers possible. Not extensive rain, given about a 10 to 30% chance from Monday all the way through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But do at least want to mention the fact that, again, we may see a little bit more cloud cover over this upcoming week than what we'll be experiencing over the weekend. So bottom line there is take advantage of the sunny skies and the comfortable conditions this weekend while they are present. Now, I do want to say hello to Karen Turner. Thank you so much again for joining me over on Facebook. You're very welcome, keeping you guys informed. Again, this is what we do top of every hour. If you guys have any questions about the weather, please feel free. Post them over on our Facebook comment section. When we are doing these live, I will be going through, reading those, and trying to answer your questions as they pop up. But for now, that's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. News and Weather Update. We will be back coming up at noon with more news and weather. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Thursday.